In this video, we're going to focus on repair and improvements for rental property mistakes, right? A repair might help you this year, an improvement might follow the property for years. Mixing them up can change your tax return now and later. This is one of the rental property topics that sounds simple at first, right? You pay someone to do work for the rental property. You have an invoice, you have a payment. So it feels natural to think, okay, this must be rental expense. But for tax purposes, the question is not only, did I spend money on the rental property? The better question is, what did the work actually do? Did it keep the property in normal operating condition? Did it fix something that was broken? Did it maintain what was already there? Or did it make the property better, replace a major part of the property, restore something in a bigger way, or adapt the property for a new use? This is where the repair versus improvement issue starts. And I want to say this right away, right? If you have ever been confused by this, you are not alone, right? A lot of landlords know the word repair and improvement, but when they are looking at a real invoice, it is not always obvious where the cost belongs. So repair usually keep the property in its ordinary operating condition. It fixes something, it maintains some things, it helps the property continue being used as a rental. For example, if a plumber fixes a small leak under the sink, that might sound like a repair. If a locksmith repairs a broken lock, that may be a repair. If someone patches a small hole in the wall, replacing a broken part, service an appliance, or fix something that stopped working, those are kind of costs people usually think of as repair and maintenance. The properties already existed. The rental was already existed. Something needed attention so the property could keep operating normally. So that's the basic idea, right? An improvement is different. An improvement usually does more than just maintain the property. It may make the property better. It may restore a major part of the property. It may adapt the property to a new or different use. So think about replacing a roof, right? Remodeling a kitchen, installing new flooring throughout the unit, adding a bedroom, converting a garage, right? Doing a major renovation before placing the property back on the rental market, right? So those costs may be very different from a small fix. And the reason this matters is because the repair and an improvement may not be treated the same way on a tax return. A repair might affect the current year differently, right? An improvement might need to be added to the property records and depreciate over time. So when the classification is wrong, it can affect this year's tax return, and it can also affect future years. This is why I like to explain it in plain English this way, right? A repair usually helps keep the property going. An improvement might add value, extend the life of something, replace something significant, or change the property in a bigger way. But be careful. This does not mean every large invoice is automatically an improvement. And this does not mean every small invoice is automatically a repair. The facts matter, the detail matters, right? What actually happens matter. Let's use a simple plumbing example, right? If a plumber comes out and fixes a small leak under the kitchen sink, that may be a repair. Maybe a pipe connection was loose. Maybe a small part needed to be replaced. Maybe there was a minor leak that needed to be stopped, right? That's very different from replacing the entire plumbing system in the property, right? So both involve plumbing, both might involve plumber, both might show up in the bank fee as a contractor payment. But the tax question is not just was the plumbing. The question is, what did the plumbing work actually do? A small leak repair and a whole system replacement are not the same thing, right? The same idea applies to flooring. If there was a small damaged section of the flooring and someone patched or repaired that area, that may be maintenance or repair. But if you replace the flooring throughout the entire rental unit, that could be a much bigger project. Maybe it was part of a renovation. Maybe it's improved the look and function of the rental. Maybe it replaced a major component, right? The answer really depends on what was done, how much were replaced, and why the work was needed, right? This is why a short bank description is usually not enough. A bank feed might say Home Depot, contractor, flooring company, or property work, but it does not tell the whole story, right? Now let's talk about remodels. This is where a lot of rental owners get into trouble. A landlord might remodel a kitchen and call it a repair. But if the project includes new cabinets, new counters, new appliances, layout changes, new flooring, major upgrades, very different from fixing one broken cabinet door, right? The word on the invoice does not control everything. If the invoice says repair, but the actual project were a kitchen remodel, then calling it a repair might not tell the true story. On the other hand, if someone fixes a small damaged part inside the kitchen, that doesn't automatically mean the whole kitchen became an improvement. Again, we have to look at the facts. For Airbnb hosts and furnished rental owners, appliances and furniture are another area to watch. You might buy a refrigerator, washer, dryer, bed, sofa, dining table, mattress, desk, and other furniture for the rental, right? Those items might need to be tracked separately from ordinary repairs. Well, I'm not going to go too technical here, but the important point is this, right? Buying assets for the rental is different from paying for a simple maintenance item. If you buy a new sofa for a furnished rental, that is not the same as paying someone to tighten a loose door handle. If you buy a new appliance, that is not the same as paying for a service call to fix a small issue, right? You want those costs clearly described so they can be reviewed correctly, right? Painting is another good example because painting can go either direction depending on the situation. Touch-up paint between tenants might be very different from painting that is part of a major renovation. If you paint one wall because the tenant left mark, it might feel like only maintenance. But if you got the unit installing new flooring, remodel the kitchen, replace fixtures, and paint the entire property as part of a larger project, the painting might need to be looked at in the context of the whole renovation. This is why surrounding facts matter, and this is why good records are also helpful, right? A vague invoice can create a lot of problems later. If the invoice says work completed and rental repair, that does not tell us much, right? What work, where, which property? Was it a repair? Was it a replacement? Was it upgrade? Was it part of remodel, right? Was it one small issue or was it a bigger project? Now compare that to an invoice that gives details, right? Say plumbing repair on the kitchen sink, or replace broken lock on front door, or install new flooring throughout the unit, or kitchen remodel including cabinet, countertop, sink, and appliance installation. That kind of details make a tax review much easier. Here's a practical example, right? If the invoice just say property work, $8,000, nobody can tell what happened, right? Was it plumbing? Was it flooring, painting, appliances, remodel? Was it part of repair or part of improvement? No one knows, right? Without asking more questions. But if that invoice breaks out labor, materials, appliance purchases, flooring installation, and smaller repair work, then the person reviewing the tax return has a much better chance of classifying it properly. Guessing is when things get risky. If you guess and put everything into repair, the current year's expense may be too high. If you guess the other direction and capitalize everything, you may delay deduction that could have been current expenses, right? The goal is not to be aggressive. The goal is not to be overly conservative out of fear, right? The goal is to classify the cost based on what actually happened. So most landlords do not need to become tax expert, but you should know enough to slow down when you see a larger invoice, a replacement, remodel, appliances, flooring, roofing, or unclear property work. Before you categorize the cost, ask yourself some simple question. Was it broken or worn out? What work was actually done? Was this a small fix or a larger replacement? Did it simply maintain the property, or did it improve the property beyond already maintenance? Was it part of a bigger renovation? Does the invoice clearly describe the work? Do I have before and after contacts if needed? And which property does it belong to? The last question matters too, especially if you own more than one rental. If you have multiple properties, the invoice should make it clear which property the work belongs to. Otherwise, everything gets harder at tax time, right? In QuickBooks, Excel, and any rental tax summary, you usually do not want every contractor payment dumped into one big category with no details. If you have one account called repair and every property payment is sitting inside, someone might still need to go back and review the actual invoices before the return is filed. That's actual work, right? So the bookkeeping category is only the starting point. The invoice and the facts are what help with the real story. And that is really the heart of this lesson. A repair may be deducted differently than an improvement. An improvement might need to be added to your property record and depreciate over time. So if repairs, remodel, appliances, flooring, roofing, or renovation are mixed together, the tax return may not reflect what actually happened. This is general educational information, not personalized tax advice, right? Here is the main takeaway. The question is not just whether you spend money on the rental property. The real question is what the money did for the property. Did it maintain the property? That's the repair, right? Or did it improve, restore, replace, or adapt something in a bigger way? That's improvement. When your record explains that clearly, your tax return becomes much easier to repair and review. If this makes you realize your repairs, remodels, appliances that need a closer look, you want to start getting all the invoices and write down what actually happened. And so far, we mainly distinguish between repair and improvement, and we have not talking about bonus depreciation. The reason that I don't want to focus on that in this lesson is because bonus depreciation, even though as of now, when we recorded video, the tax code says permanent, but you know with tax law, permanent just means until the law changes. So technically, with the current tax year, right, because of bonus depreciation, the tax result might look the same, but if you get the distinction between a repair and improvement, that will help you go on forward with future years, especially when the tax law changes. If you want to know more about bonus depreciation for the current tax year, you can do a search on our channel, and we've done a ton of video on it. Thank you so much for watching. Let's move on.